Hello, welcome back to the Mel-Tran Designs podcast. I am your host, Melissa, also known as Anansi on Ravelry, and on Plurk and Instagram, I am Mel-Tran Designs. Today is February 12th, 2015. It's a Thursday, and it hasn't been too terribly long since I podcasted, so yay! I'm doing better. I actually didn't have plans to podcast today. It just kind of worked out. Jake isn't feeling well, and so he's in laying down, and Quinn's asleep, so I'm going to try and hurry through this in case she wakes up. So anyways, welcome back to returning viewers, and welcome to new viewers. Thanks for checking me out, and I hope you enjoy our time together. Let's see, week in review slash, happenings this week. We had a little bit of a sick house going on. Eli wasn't feeling great. Kyan wasn't feeling great. Quinn took 2 weeks, 3 weeks almost to be sick because she was teething and then got a cold afterwards. And anyway, it looks like we're at the end of it. Like I said, Jake's not feeling great, but it's been worse. So anyways, overall not too bad. I'm gonna mess with this a little bit. Luckily, I didn't really get sick. My tonsils were a little swollen the other day, and so I've been gargling some On Guard from doTERRA. I read that you can that you can do that. Of course, I get stuff in my throat as soon as I start talking on here. But anyways, so let's see what else besides that. I've been working like usual. This last weekend I got a lot of knitting done. It just kind of worked out that way because Quinn was at the tail end of being sick. She was sleeping quite a bit. So Jake and Anansi were, excuse me, they were up on the mountain skiing and snowboarding. And the other two were just kind of hanging out. This was on Saturday, so I was just knitting like crazy, getting as much done as I could. And then, let's see, Sunday, I turned my alarm off when I was supposed to get up to go to church, and so we didn't go to church because I fell back asleep. So I got quite a bit of knitting done Sunday afternoon. After that, and nothing really Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday, yesterday, I went to a freezer meal workshop. My Pampered Chef consultant is putting that on once a month, and it was a lot of fun. It took me about 3 hours, and I have 10 freezer meals that she said her family is her and her husband and 3 kids. 2 of those kids are teenagers and 1 is almost a teenager. And she said that they have leftovers from these. And so that's essentially how many we're feeding here because Quinn isn't eating, normal food yet. So that's, I mean, our kids are younger, obviously, but same number of people. So if they have leftovers, I figure we'll definitely have leftovers. And this time, this set was soups, stews, and chilies. And then there's a set of 10 menu sets that you can choose from. So I got to pick the one I'm doing next month. That one doesn't have I didn't see like a theme title for it. I just picked the one that stood out. So anyway, that was great. And like I said, we have 10 bags of meals right now in the freezer, which is really good for Jake for when I'm working, or just you for a Sunday you throw it in the crock pot before church and have it done, or when you put it in when you get up, and then after church you have food. Yeah, so anyways, I will be doing that on the second Wednesday of every month. If you happen to be a local person here, there are still openings. She has 3 different classes, workshops, whatever you want to call it. So anyway, if you happen to be local and watch this and are interested, let me know. So anyways, did that. Then went to work last night. Man, yesterday I was running around like crazy because one of the local grocery stores marks down their meat every morning, but it's the meat that's going to be expiring the next day. So I waited until yesterday morning to buy the meat, which meant I got up with the girls. So Wednesday night, Jake stayed up with Quinn. Or Tuesday night, Jake stayed up with Quinn. Then I got up with the girls yesterday morning and then went straight to the grocery store and got the meat and then came home and had to separate it all into the different bags. And then I did take a little bit of a nap because I was barely functioning. Then I went over and did the class. And then after the class, I came straight home, got ready for work, and left for work. And so I don't usually really drink pop. Sometimes if I go out to eat, I'll have like a Sprite or a root beer or something, but I don't really drink much caffeine. I'm not like morally opposed to it or anything. I just choose not to really drink it all that much, but I was dying. So I stopped at Freddy's to grab some lunch on my way over to the class yesterday and got a Mountain Dew. And then last night at work, I drank another, well, we get this size employee cups. I always bring them home and drink water out of them for the next couple of days. But anyway, I drank just that much. I mean, there was ice in it too, so it wasn't a ton, but it was enough to get me through. And then I finally was able to go to bed at, I don't know, I think it was almost 3 o'clock this morning. So anyway, so yeah, I'm here. I got to sleep in today because I stayed up with Quinn last night. I don't know what I'm going to do when Jake isn't able to do that. On that front, we still know nothing. There are 2 different companies looking at him. One is in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Irving, Texas area. The other one is in Indianapolis, Indiana. We've heard nothing. So I'll keep you updated. That's the update for now. Something that I got, I'm not going to put it in acquisitions because it's not a yarny thing. I've talked about it before, but if you're new, I'm a small person. I'm only 5'2" with my flat shoes on because I'm really like 5'1 3/4, but all shoes at least have a 1/4 of an inch. So I have a hard time finding comfortable chairs to sit in. Recliners, couches, even a folding chair. If I sit with my butt and back all the way against the back, I'm like this far from the floor if my feet are, or if my ankles are, flat like that, my feet. So I'm uncomfortable pretty much most of my life as far as sitting goes. I had a recliner at one time that fit me. It was an old one that, like, it was secondhand when my dad got it, and then I ended up getting it from him, and it was perfect. Well, it was old, and the kids played on it, and anyways, it ended up breaking. And honestly, I've pretty much been uncomfortable since then. I was able to find a small type chair when I was pregnant, and it worked well. It was not expensive. I got it off Craigslist, but the back ended up like sinking in. I don't know. It's like a foam. I don't know what it is, but it's like it started breaking down right away. So I can sit in it, but I have to put something there. And anyways, it's not great. So I just don't really sit in it. I try to just, I don't know, I just curl up on the couch or whatever and move a lot. Well, Tuesday night I came home from work and there's this chair sitting in my living room. And I immediately recognize it as the exact same style of chair that I had before that broke. And Jake says, "Look!" He was all excited. I was like, "Where did this come from?" The next door neighbors, they have, the way their living room is set up, they can't really have a lot of furniture in there. And they got a new couch and the chair didn't fit anymore. And he thought of us. And it's in perfect condition. It's the exact style of chair that I had gone shopping for at one time and brand new. It was like $700. So hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm not talking super loud, but I'm hoping I'm close enough to the microphone you can hear me okay. But anyway, I have a new chair, I have a recliner, and it fits me, and it rocks, and it's wonderful. And so I can be comfortable now. And last night, I only got to knit one little mitered square because Quinn wanted me to hold her, and I just laid back in my chair and was rocking her, and she fell asleep, and I just rocked her and rocked her and rocked her and rocked her, and it was bliss. So I have a wonderful comfy chair that is actually covered with a blanket because our cats every so often will feel the need to claw things, and I will kill them. Okay, not really, but I will throw things at them. So it is protected when I'm not sitting in it, and I'm going to do everything I can to keep it in good condition. So anyways, yay. I think that's all I have as far as life stuff. If I think of anything else, I'll throw it in. Yeah, so going on / coming up, what we have going on right now is the colorwork knit along that the stranded colorwork knit along that I'm co-hosting with Lisa Fiber Nymph from the 90% Knitting podcast. That's going on February and March this year, obviously. And you can do any color work you want, any stranded color work. You can do something as small as a coaster or a mug cozy, or you can do a sweater or a blanket or anything in between. Whatever it is you'd like to do, join in. There will be prizes in both groups. And actually, the Dramatic Knits podcast just happens to be doing the same knit along during the same months. And so go ahead and post in their group as well. You know, have 3 chances of getting a prize. And you can do as many projects as you want as long as they were started after February 1st and they're done before March 31st. Enter as much as often as you like. You have to be a member of the group in all 3 groups in order to be eligible to win. So anyways, there you go. And I will show you how my colorwork sweater is coming along here pretty soon. And then the coming up part, like I said, I will be traveling at the end of April, and I'll talk more about that as it gets closer and when I get my plane ticket purchased. As far as knit-alongs go, I haven't really decided what I'll be doing next. I don't know if you remember, I'm just kind of piggybacking off of other knit-alongs this year with the exception of this one with Lisa. Yeah, I'm just jumping in on whatever people have going on. The Dramatic Knits podcast has a good year lineup of knit-alongs, so there's a good chance I'll be jumping in with them. They have a sweater knit-along that they'll be doing in the summer, and I think that's when I'll remake my Miranda sweater. That if you remember, I made it and the fit it's not right. So I'm gonna take it apart and well up to about here and redo it with the smaller size and see if I can make it work better. I know the Stockinette Zombies always have fun knit-alongs going on, so I'll probably jump in with them. Yeah, anyway, just check back here, or I do post on the board as well in the group. There's actually a 2015 knit-along piggybacking thread if you want to post any knit-alongs you're participating in or that you hear about that you think would be fun, please do so. I also am doing the knitting game Mystery of the Traveling Scarf or the Traveling Scarf knit-along all year long, well through November, which I'll talk about in my works in progress. So anyway, yeah, so join me, it'll be fun. And that's all I have for that. So let's move into works in progress. Just put a bag right there, but that's where my computer blows out the fan. Okay, first of all, this is in one of my 31 zipper pouches. This is my Crazy Stripes tee. I've actually made quite a lot of progress on this project since I showed it to you last. And actually, I'm partway through one of my color blocks. So it's a top-down set-in sleeve style shirt. I don't want to call it a sweater because it's fingering weight. And as you can see, I have four of the color blocks done. Here, let's see if I can spread it out just a little bit. There we go. 4 of the color blocks done, and I do 6 before starting the rows that will balance it out this way. And I'm on number 5, as you can tell. This project is so much fun to work on. And surprisingly, even with it being fingering weight, it goes really fast. I'm making the medium size, and I'm using Knit Picks Stroll in their Brights colors. The blue is Razzleberry and the green is called Pucker. And I'm using US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter needle, and it's on my Darn Pretty interchangeables. So anyway, I am just loving this project. The yarn is really great to work with. It's very soft, and I'm actually still on my second skeins of each color, and I have quite a bit left still. Again, the pattern is called Crazy Stripes T, T-E-E. And so there you go. Let's see what's in this. This is another 31 project bag. This is my, hold on here, pulling a couple things out here. My knitting game, let's see, what's the official title, just so I'm telling you the right. Yeah, The Mystery of the Traveling Scarf, a knitting game. And that's going on in the Criminal Knits group if you want to join along. It's just one very small clue each week for 46 weeks, January through November. You can jump in at any time. And if you remember, I'm using hand spun that I made. That's a Fiber Nymph Dye Works 100% Polworth. It's not superwash. And she had a rainbow. It was 6 1-ounce puffs, each of the rainbow colors, and I bought 2 of them, so I spun them separately and plied them together. And so we have week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and week 7 you can see, whoa, that's really bright. It's not that stark of a difference in person. That's kind of funny how reds and oranges show up. But anyway, you can see that I'm transitioning into the orange, and it's actually red and orange mixed together for a little while, and it's not quite that yellowy. I mean, it's more of a yellowy orange, but not that yellow. So anyways, I'm very excited about getting into the next color. You can see I have some red orange mix there, and then I'll be moving on. And I was actually going to start to transition anyways, so I didn't even have to cut the yarn or anything, which is nice. So there we go. Oh, that's a dropped stitch that I found, and I just haven't taken the time to tie it in. So you gotta love that. Oh, and I'm doing this, it calls for size 4s, but because my yarn is a little smaller than a standard fingering weight, I went down to a size 3, which, what is that, a 3.25 millimeter? Yeah. And these are a 12-inch circular. They're the Chow bamboo needles. If you haven't used those before, they have a really nice coating over them that makes them smooth, not slick, but nice and smooth. But it has a little bit of grip on the yarn, especially with these 12-inch. The yarn would be flying off if I had like Addies or something. So I don't have to put the point protectors on or anything. Since I have this bag open, well, no, I'll leave this out because I need to finish taking care of it afterwards. So it's an FO that I'll talk about in a second. All right. 2 more things for you here. I have my mitered squares blanket. I haven't done a whole lot on it this week, mainly because I was working on my shirt and my sweater, and and 2 FOs. Anyway, so I've only done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've done 6 squares this week. I was trying to do 2 a day, but that averaged out to 1 a day, even though there was a couple days I didn't work on it. I did like 3 one of the days. And I'm, like I said last week, I always cast on for the next one, so the stitches are picked up and ready to go. I'm not saying what the project is because on the off chance a certain person is watching, I'm not going to say what it is. The yarn I'm using, the blue is Red Heart. The brown is the Michaels version, the equivalent of Red Heart. I don't remember what it's called, but it's, you know, just they're 100% acrylic. And like I've said before too, I know not everyone is a big fan, and I personally don't love it, but this blanket will last forever, and it will be able to be trampled on and thrown outside and used and loved and still washed a million times. And that's what it's for. I'm using size 7, US 7 needles, which is a 4.5 millimeter. And I'm doing 26 stitch mitered squares. I was like 13. I call them 13 stitch because it's you pick up 13 and pick up 13. I know that equals 26, but in my head I break it up into what the half is that I pick up. So that's why I was having to do a little math there. So anyway, and the big fancy bag that this is in is from Old Navy when they have the free bags. So it says Earth Laughs in Flowers and Old Navy on there. Anyway, it's big. It holds all my stuff. And lastly, on the needles here is my Colorwork sweater. The pattern is Gray Sparrow by, oh, she doesn't put her name. I don't know her name. I'm not going to pull the pattern out right now. It's called Gray Sparrow. Look it up on Ravelry if you want to see. And I am done with one complete pattern repeat, or chart repeat. Let's see if I can spread it out here for you. This is what it looks like so far. Here's where, oh, hold on one second. I'm pulling it off the needles here. Here's where the steeking will take place, right there where it's different. And let's get it turned back. There we go. So there's one repeat. I'm supposed to do 3 pattern repeat or 3 chart repeats before I do the arms, and I'll reevaluate when I get there how big it is. I do want to show you the inside, my floats. I'm so proud of these because the only color work I've done before this sweater has been 2 fake aisle hats and a cowl. So I'm extremely, well, I've done intarsia, but actual color work. I know I just turned it upside down, but look at that. I'm so proud. They're all even and not tight. There's no puckering. It lays nice and flat. And you know what I'm really liking too is that even though it's double thick, because it's sport weight yarn, it's still thin and will be lightweight. And I'm very appreciative for that because, you know, I don't want to be limited to only wearing this or, you know, something with this much work when it's 5 degrees outside. I want to be able to wear it even when it's maybe 40 or 50 or 60 degrees outside. You know, like I don't want it to just be a sub-Arctic cold type thing. So anyways, the yarn I'm using for this is Brown Sheep Lamb's Pride. No, Brown Sheep Nature Spun. Non-superwash in their sport, the Nature Spun Sport. The brown is Coffee Bean, the red is Red Fox, and the tan is called Saddle Tan. And I had cones of the brown and the tan, and then the red I decided on that color and just ordered 3 skeins of it from Paradise Fibers. So anyways, that is all I have on the needles. One of my FOs I won't be showing you because I don't know if you remember a few months ago I made a hat that I hadn't decided if I was going to submit for publication or not. And then I ordered some some Fiber Nymph undyed and the turquoise blue probably a couple months ago now. Well, I remade the hat. What I did was I typed up the pattern and remade the hat over the course of 2 days. It's super easy and so addicting, and I wear it all the time. I'm very much in love with this hat, and I can't wait for you guys to see it, because I know, like, it's one of my favorite things that I've designed. I like all the things that I've designed. The cursed cable mitts and socks are my favorite thing that I've designed, and this is, honestly, this is right up there with them. And when you use her amazing cozy base with the worsted, oh my gosh, you guys. And she told me, I text her every time I use it. I say, I know I tell you this every time, but oh my gosh, I love this yarn. Well, it's the exact same yarn as her bulky, only obviously a worsted, and then her DK is the same, which I didn't know that. I knew the bulky was the same because I've used it and I could tell by feel. And I was like, and when she told me that her DK was the same too, I was like, oh, now I need to order some of that. So anyway, yeah, so I love the hat, and once I get stuff figured out on if I'm going to submit it or not, I promise I will show you. I just can't have any sort of public pictures or anything of it if I submit it. So anyway, I'm very excited about it, and I'll keep you updated. But there's an FO. The other thing, I just finished it yesterday, and actually I haven't even cut the yarn yet because I didn't have scissors sitting here. It is not anything fancy. It is a mug cozy for one of my assistant managers who I kind of have become friends with. Her birthday's coming up later this month, and I said, hey, I'll knit something for you, and she said, I just want a cozy for my cup. She uses one of those plastic tumblers, and it looks small, but it's very stretchy because it's ribbing. It's a right twist ribbing. Let's see if I can get it on this cup here. Oh yeah, because I think this cup is actually about the same size as the cup she uses. Hers is a little on the bigger side. She's obsessed with purple. I have talked about this project before. I don't have the tag for the yarn. Why is this getting caught? Styrofoam likes to be kind of grippy, so it'll slide on her cup a lot easier. I don't remember what the yarn is. I know it's a 50-50 merino acrylic blend, completely machine washable for her, and it's a cabled yarn, so it has a nice round look to it. Yeah, there we go. So I don't have autofocus on my camera. I need to try to save up for a better one, but I don't have $60 laying around. So you can see that it stretches, but it still has that nice twisted texture. And I just cast on, I don't know how many I cast on. If you'll bear with me 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 times 4, so 36. So I cast on 36 stitches, and this is a DK weight, and I used some double points, size 4, which is a 3.5 millimeter, and I did this for 4 inches. So, oh, my cup just cracked. Give me 1 second. I'm going to dump the water out into this water bottle I have sitting here. Sorry about that. I know, this is exciting, right? Okay. Just saved myself from that. See, and this is why I only use it for 1 or 2 days. The cups start to fall apart. So, all right. Anyway, moving along. That is finished, and I will weave in the ends and take a picture of it. I'm trying to get pictures of all of my stuff put on Ravelry. Oh, and a couple of the FOs, the dog sweater, the neck gaiter, and the hat that I finished for my aunt and uncle and their dog. They got the package, they sent me pictures, and I've uploaded them into my photo bucket, but I don't think I've added them to my Ravelry page quite yet, my projects page, but I'm actually going to pull that up while I'm telling you about it as a reminder to myself to do that. And if you are curious to see them, actually what I'll probably do is post pictures in the group thread on Ravelry, the episode thread. There we go. So that way you can see what they all look like. So I thought of something as I was gonna say that. Oh, I have decided, I don't know if any of you watch this on my website, Mel-Tran For right now, that's going to be coming down. I own the domain name still, but the hosting, they want a lot of money, and I'm not willing to pay it. So I am going to start I opened up a Blogspot account with Mel-Tran Designs, but I haven't done anything with it yet. I got sidetracked and kind of forgot. So this will be going up to YouTube and there at some point, but I need to learn how to use it. So anyways, just letting you know, if you do happen to watch this on the website, it's not going to be up. I don't even know if it's still up. They might have taken it down or stopped hosting it, but anyways, it's not, nobody really goes to it anyway, so it doesn't matter. So, all right, moving on. Spinning. I have spinning that I finished. This is fiber that I started over a year ago, and I talked about it last week, how I was almost done and I wanted to finish it, and after I finished recording, I sat down and spun and finished the last single, and then she keeps making noises, so and then I plied it the next day, and it has been soaked and everything. And here is how it came out. This is actually a 4-ply, a true 4-ply, which means I spun 4 separate plies and put them together. I really wish this had autofocus, but that's alright. You can still get the idea. It's very round, very awesome. It's 100% superwash BFL from the Sassy Sheep. This is her Moonlight colorway that I love. I have a sweater's quantity in her Renaissance fingering weight. Yeah, the orange ties are just a couple extra ties there. So I got about 150 yards, and I would say, I'm guessing that this is about a DK weight. Some spots are a little thinner, but I would say overall it's a DK. I did have some left over that I had to do into a 2-ply, and then I plied that onto itself, so I did a cable yarn, but it's actually still sitting on the wheel, and my wheel is somewhere around here, I think. Anyway, I haven't pulled it off. There's not that much on there. It was just kind of the rest of it, and I wanted to see what it would do. It's not the prettiest, and I don't really care. I was just messing around with the last of it. So anyways, I'm very happy with this, and I keep looking at it. Initially, I was like, hey, I want that to be a cowl. It's not that soft on my neck, which BFL is usually a little softer, so I'm kind of surprised, but I really want it to be a hat now. See, wouldn't that be a pretty hat? Just, you know, I could just bobby pin it like this. No? All right. Just kidding. I do want it to be a hat though, so I will find a pattern or make one up, or just, I don't know, maybe I'll just make a beanie. I haven't decided yet. So what I'll probably though end up doing is a turned brim, like a doubled, and I'll use a softer yarn to cast on with, so that's what's up against my face, and then do that on top of it. So to follow up with the spinning, I got my box out that has all my fiber in it. I don't have a large fiber stash. Wow, it's already 1:53. All right. So what I did was I pulled out my oldest things, and they are some bats that I made. Oh, that's a tiny one. There are a couple of bats that I made at the spinning retreat that I went to for a couple of years. And so here's, how do you open it? There we go. Here's one of them. I'm not going to open it all the way. It's just a whole bunch of colors just blended together. It's pretty much just all merino, which I don't love spinning merino, but you can see pops of different colors. But anyways, it was a workshop with Judith McKenzie, and she brought her electric carder and let us just kind of go to town on it. Here's another one that I made that's more blue based, but definitely has a ton of colors. Let's see if I can get that open a little bit. So anyways, bats are fun to spin though, because they just kind of turn into their own thing. I don't try to make perfect yarn with those. You know, they're just fun, especially with all these colors and stuff. And this one is actually a little bat that I made on a carding board. So that'll probably be the first one I do, just to play with it a bit. So anyways, those will be coming up next. I'm actually going to a spin-in this weekend in a little town called Garden Valley, or well, it's Crouch, which is next to Garden Valley. It's maybe about an hour away, about an hour and 20 minutes away, up in the mountains a little bit. And it's the Winter Blues spin-in that they have every year, and I haven't been able to go ever since I found out about it. Jake has had to work that weekend. Even last year when he wasn't working consistently every weekend or every other weekend, him working fell on that weekend. So I said, hey, I know it's on Sunday, but do you care if I go? Please, please, please. Because you're still here in town. Please, please, please. So he's like, yeah, sure, I don't care. So I'm going to that. And so I will start the bats, and I will take my knitting as well, of course, because my arm and wrist and shoulder are still not doing great. Last week was really good. This week is really not good. But I have an appointment tomorrow, so hopefully things are good. I don't have any acquisitions. My designing, I already talked about it with that hat. And hi, Quinny. If you're willing to wait a second, she just woke up and I'll go get her. Hold on, stay right there. Do you want to come say hi on the computer? All right, we got some bedhead going on here. And there's the Quinn. So yeah, no acquisitions this week. I will be buying some yarn actually today. I'm going to go get it for, Cayenne has a birthday coming up, and she wants an elephant again this year, but a different one, and it'll be light purple and dark purple, so I'll have that, that yarn to show next week. Yeah, designing. Oh, I did want to tell you really quick. The reason why I got the bug to make that hat, the weather turned so nice here over the weekend, and we had the doors open and the sun was coming in and the fresh air was coming in, and for the first time since I got my job, I felt like I was not in a cloud. Between my sleep schedule changing and, you know, working 4 nights a week, I did not have the desire to design or anything, and I missed it, but I didn't know what to do. And man, just the fresh air in here and the sunshine, I was like, oh, I want to make that hat, and I want to write the pattern, and I wanted, I was me again, and it was great, and I have felt better this whole week. So anyways, I was going to tell you that earlier and then kept talking about something else. So Quinny, look, look, it's a baby. Do you see the Quinn on there? It's a baby. Do you see that cute baby? That's you. Oh, yeah, that's the Quinny. Yeah. Do you see that Quinny? And is that a mommy? Huh? Are you confused? All right. Well, I'm sure she's. Oh, I'm sure she's probably hungry, and I've been rattling on for 39 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. Have a wonderful week, and I'm hoping I can record again next week as well. So, anyway, until next time, keep knitting. Bye.